All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a Terran versus Terran coming at you with Koss against ASD. Let's go into it. The map will be the Shattered Temple.
Yep, and here we are. TVT, Shattered Temple, cross positions. I'm pretty sure it's forced. Is it? Do you know?
If this is the NASL version, then yes, it is forced. Okay.
You know, there's a lot of choke points here. You can utilize it, like at least outside of your natural expansion, but again, in the middle of the map, it gets very, very wide open, so you have to be very careful with your engagements. You know, usually you see, you know, those 1-1-1 openings. There's a decent amount of airspace on this map. You have to be careful about that. And also there's a decent amount of cliffs as well that you can utilize with tanks. Lots of like little nifty places you can fit those. But it should be interesting. You know, bio or mech is the big question in this matchup lately. And it should be interesting to see what happens.
I actually like mech better on this map, to tell you the truth. Mister. But
I agree, I think.
I just like it because this map is a lot about map control, whether or not you can take the center, because a lot of plans actually emerge from taking the center. You can actually go towards the 12 o'clock. You can also go towards the 9 o'clock. And why might you want to go towards the 9 o'clock? It's because you want to be denying the 4th, 5th, 6th bases. And I know that's very far down the line, but it's important because if you take the center, well, if it's split half map against half map, you take the center, where do you have to defend? You also have to defend over here, you have to defend over here, and the gold expansion as well. So there's a lot of key points you have to defend against, and that can be pretty brutal, considering that they have their 200-200 army in the middle of the map, whereas you have your 200-200 army just defending all over the place against, you know, pretty much half the map. So it can make for a lot of problems, and obviously, as I said, position is going to be one of the most important things. Let's see how both these players actually go about taking their position.
Yeah, it looks like ASD opening up with the gas first, and Koss doing pretty much the opposite. Looks like he's going for a one racks fast expand, no gas at all just yet. And of course, some of you may be saying, "Oh, that's crazy." Some of you may be saying, "Oh, that's brilliant." Well, you know, obviously you're cutting a pretty big corner here. If you can take your expansion, you know, this early, it comes down to preventing harassment from your opponent. And if ASD, it looks like he's going for, he should be putting on a starport after this factory, I would imagine. Actually, is that? Yeah, I mean, I'd expect him to. Probably going to go for some sort of Banshee opening. And it comes down to Cass being able to defend against the harassment, making sure he doesn't lose a lot of SCVs. But if Cass can keep his expansion up, you know, he's getting it a lot sooner than his opponent, and that'll put him ahead big time.
Now, Cass actually sees this. Oh! Engineering bay block! So sick! Cass, you freaking monster. Of course, that's going to delay the starport a little bit, but what it basically says to him is, I know exactly what you're doing. On top of that, he wasn't able to see if it was a second gas, but normally at this time you know, okay, my opponent cannot get cloaked that early because he's gotten such a fast factory, a fast starport. You're going to be cutting like crazy amount of SCVs, although you should know that it is within the realm of possibilities. So we'll see how Cass actually deals with this. Interesting, he goes up to 4 barracks. Now normally the common thing to do is you have to put down a bunker in the center of this choke, because there is a possibility that it's just, you know, Marines, Hellions, and Banshees, and they go up and just try to overpower you. And actually with 4 barracks, I'm not sure if you can actually hold that at the time it comes, so it might be a little bit difficult for him if he doesn't actually go and make that bunker. You can see the Hellion's going to pop up here. And what this Hellion was trying to do is just see exactly where his opponent was, number 1, obviously, because he didn't scout. But 2, see what build he was trying to go and what he's capable of. Seeing that command center, he's so happy. He's like, I hope to God that you don't have a bunker there, because if he doesn't, look at this attack that's coming on the way. This is going to be so deadly if he repairs his Hellion. But he's not doing that.
You said it, man. There's no bunker here, just now going down. But I got to think this might be a little bit too late. There's Cass coming forward with some Marines, but there are Hellions here. Some SCVs coming forward as well, probably to repair those Hellions. But ASD has to make sure he doesn't lose these units before the SCVs get there. That'd be pretty bad, and Cass going to try to engage. I feel like Cass is still in a decent situation, provided he splits up his Marines effectively. But here comes a Banshee.
Oh man, this Banshee will do a lot of damage. Probably clean up all these Marines at this point, but the bunker will finish in in time. Think if those Hellions weren't so heavily damaged, he would have been in much better position.
Yes.
Now, all of a sudden, Cass is going to take the decisive advantage, I think. We'll see if, you know, this Banshee can do damage, because theoretically, it should be able to kite those Marines, but with good micro, he will be able to stop any of those shenanigans from going down. Do we have an engineering bay? No, we do not. So you can see Cass is so good in his reads. He knows exactly what his opponent is capable of, and he's saying, nope, you're not going cloak. I know way too well what you're capable of, and this is one of the things normally you do go for, some sort of fast expansion. There you have it. Fast expansion coming out from ASD.
Yep, it's expanding behind that aggression, I guess, feeling like, okay, I can't break this right now. I'm going to have to, you know, cut my losses, take my expansion, even though I'm a little bit behind economically, and try to do some damage with this Banshee. Speaking of Banshees, one Banshee trying to do some damage in the natural expansion of Koss. Able to kill, I think, 2 SUVs there. He does have 9 kills to his name.
ASD needs to be careful. You can see this second Banshee on the top right-hand corner. It's going to intercept, or actually the Marines are going to intercept that. Combat Shields is on the way. As soon as Combat Shields actually gets upgraded, Koss will be in a superior position. Turrets are on the way as well now. 2 turrets, actually. But the Banshee is still able to get 4 kills and damage. Most of those Marines, if you just tried to focus fire, I think it would have been a lot better. But the second Banshee, or the first Banshee, I should say, is going to come in yet again, kill 2 SCVs and just get out of there. So all in all, actually, this Banshee opening is going to pretty much negate any advantage that happened. You do see that there is a pretty big income disparity. That's because of the mules. The second mule helps out quite a bit. But I would say he killed enough Marines in that within the 2 Banshees and kept the Banshees alive to have all this worth it. So overall, nice shot by ASD and well played.
And something interesting here, ASD stim is about halfway done. Koss has yet to start his stim. And you know, when one player has stim and one player doesn't, you know, there's a significant advantage for obvious reasons. But that being said, I'm wondering if Koss forgot it. You know,
no, he went for that combat shield. This is a big timing.
There it is, finally. Okay.
So stim is going to be initiated over here, but this is a big combat shield timing. Normally, you get combat shield up. You know, when your opponent isn't capable of getting combat shields, you have a big advantage. This one bunker here with the SCVs, this should back up all these Marines, especially with the support of those 2 Banshees. We see, does he actually do? Ooh, wow, he's being super tricky here. But ASD looking really great. Great read so far. And he's able to, I think, have the advantage in this early game stage. Even though they're at very similar harvesters, I think just because he has the tech advantage, he has the stim almost finished. Combat shield, of course, needs to be upgraded, but he has the 2 medevacs, he has the 2 Banshees that held out so much. He's in great position, Mr. Axeltoss.
Yep, you're right, and you know, Koss just now getting the tech lab on the factory, probably going to go into tank production. But ASD has been doing tank production, has one on the field, not queuing up any right now. He's supply blocked. Both these players actually supply blocked right now. Supply dip is about to finish though, and scan going down from Koss there in the main base of ASD. Sees everything that's going on, and interestingly enough, ASD has yet to start siege tech, so we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that as well. But yeah, man, both these players relatively even. ASD may have an edge. Again, it's kind of hard to decipher at this point in the game, and it looks like +1 infantry armor starting for Empire Koss, and he already has +1 weapons compared to the 0-0 of ASD. So, but ASD does have +1, about 50% of the way done.
Yeah, at this point, I think Koss, what he's trying to do is just build his economy. He just wants to get into the mid-game stage and kind of mitigate the advantage that those 2 Banshees have. Although the 2 Banshees, the reason why I always talk about them throughout this game is because the power of Banshees and siege tanks together, if you include Vikings and really take that air control, it allows your siege tanks to be a lot stronger. You can start edging up on opponents. You know, if you do a little bit of damage to siege tanks with those Banshees and the Marines come forward, they actually can get splashed upon, and then all of a sudden those siege tanks are doing a lot of damage against those Marines. It limits the Marine count for your opponent. So a lot of great stuff, great combinations and synergies can happen with those Banshees. We'll see if ASD actually utilizes that. I love him to do that, but as it stands, both of them are just building their compositions. Of course, the more mobile army of Koss is going to take that center control, the map positioning, that's so important. But is it going to be enough and in time for him to take that gold expansion and really start materializing off of that? That's going to be the big question. And I want to say no, it's not.
Yeah, and ASD coming forward here. Both these players, I don't know if they see each other, but they're literally right next to each other in the middle of the map.
Oh my.
Koss sees it with the watchtower. ASD going to siege up. He's going to go run right by Gretorp.
Oh, this could do a lot of damage at this point. Now you can see these units are completely dead, though. That's the problem. If ever they get surrounded, they're going to be cleaned up very easily. But these Marines are doing so much damage. Oh my God! They're going to kill off this one command center. Nope, they're going to re-engage, kill off a lot of SCVs. Finally, they're going to go down in... No! Oh my God, they're going to stay alive. Very nice by cost. Those upgrades definitely being utilized to the maximum with the 1-1 over the 1-0. SCVs being cleaned off here. And Koss will be cleaned up, so well played so far by Koss. He's going to take a very big advantage. Let's go ahead and look at the income tab. 29 harvesters of 46, 13 to 28 workers killed, 14 to 28 workers killed. There was a drop in the top that I missed right there, unfortunate, but ASD just not able to do enough damage in that entire exchange, and
yep,
he's going to go behind.
Yep, that was actually pretty darn cool. ASD is going to the middle of the map, had no idea where Koss was. Koss knew exactly where ASD was, waited till he went a little bit far forward, and then once he sieged up, he just ran right to the natural expansion and started shooting all those innocent SCVs. But yeah, really cool play by Koss, and ASD is now left wondering, okay, what do? I have 2 bases, I just lost a bunch of SCVs. Do I take a third? Do I engage him? But I feel like Koss really has a great advantage in this game right now.
Oh, he does. He definitely does. Koss is looking really good, just because he has gold expansion, obviously. But on top of that, he has similar army composition. He is slightly behind in that siege tank count, but if Koss goes and gets good position with it, which I know he's good for, he'll be in a fine position to just keep his gold expansion and not let his opponent really take advantage of him. This is where the center control, though, gives a lot of options. You can see, like, the main is pretty accessible, and there we go. ASD is actually going to go for it. He's going to go for the main. And what he can do is just elevator up. There is the drop that he's going to just pass ever so slightly. But Koss is going to try to react over here. ASD actually has a lot more units than his opponent. Look at that. Oh my God, Koss is going to suicide all of his Marines. Wow. And this pressure might actually do the trick. ASD is in great position. With that center control, he's able to get up here and maybe even able to swoop around to the gold expansion now and take that out. We'll see what he does. He's going back and just dropping so he can get more units, but in the meantime, there is that drop over there that's very capable and able to do a lot of damage to cut off the supply line.
Yeah, ASD relatively indecisive right now, moving up to the edge of his opponent's base, sieging up and taking down quite a few units up there in the main. And Koss is now finding himself in a very weird situation. How do you really engage these units on the low ground here? He's decided to move some tanks up to the high ground and get those sieged up, but at the same time, the drop, I thought there was a drop, dropping at the third, but there's nothing there. So Koss realizes his opponent is only on 2 bases, so if he can hold this and get reevaluated, he's fine, but you know, that may be a tall task here.
ASD is being dropped on right now at the natural. You can see he's also moving up. He was able to deny a lot over here. The Marines are going to come in here. SCVs get pulled off. The Marines are going to stem forward as well and clean up this drop very easily. But all in all, the advantage still goes to Koss in terms of economy. Here we go. He's actually pushing forward. And can he actually kill all the siege tanks in time? ASD is not pushing his Marines forward, so those siege tanks are a little bit under-defended at this point. He's going to unsiege, but it's not going to be that useful. But look at this, taking great position over here. While those units are so far back in that main, he's going to go and take this nice position between everything. But Koss might be in a position where he can just clamp down on this position and take it decisively.
Looks like he's going to try to do that, stemming forward a squadron of his Marines, splitting them up as well. Nice splitting there from Koss, and all those tanks not even going to siege up. He has such a good advantage with that tank count and just going to roll over the army of ASD, and there's the GG.
So Empire will take it 3-0. Great play by Koss that game. You can see the gold expansion really being the key, I guess, the key component in allowing Koss to stay in that game, even though there was massive damage done onto his main. You saw that the factory was actually sniped. He actually was able to take out that tech labs, and it was never able to be remade. So he took out a key component. ASD took out a key component in defending that big drop. But when it came down to it, ASD made a little bit of mistakes here and there, and ultimately he did lose out in the engagement just because the replenishment of the army wasn't there. He wasn't able to constantly put those units in and have them relevant in the battles, and he was a little bit lackluster in his I think his aggression. Overall, he just wasn't able to get the perfect positions with all of his units, I should say. He got good positions, but he wasn't able to keep his opponent guessing and switching back from the main to the third, from the main to the third. That's what you want to do, because if you're in position and the Terran is not, your opposing Terran is not, then they're always going to suffer more losses than you.
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit it, man. Like, the positioning is so important in TVT, especially when siege tanks are involved. And there was a really important part in that game where ASD was going up the middle of the map, sieged up his tanks, was going toward the watchtower, and Cass just went around the side there and just snuck right into the natural expansion, engaged that. ASD backed up, but forgot his tanks. He only engaged with his Marines, and then he remembered his tanks and finally brought them forward. But at that point, ASD already lost so much stuff. And from there, I mean, Koss had the lead. He had a third up. His opponent didn't. ASD was put on the clock, because when your opponent gets a third and you're only 2 bases, like, the timer starts, or you have to kill this guy, or because the further, the longer the game lasts, the farther your opponent who's ahead on base is going to get ahead. The further he's going to get ahead, I should say. So yeah, really nicely played by Koss. And
Koss surprisingly kept a really good macro with that gold expansion, which is pretty surprising. I mean, his infrastructure was actually booming, so he was able to do that. But really nice play, I think, overall by Koss, and he's going to take it. So that's a 3-0 advantage for Team Empire over FXO. FXO will drop all the way to 4th place. Empire is in contention for that first place. It's going to be very hard for Team Liquid. They need a 3-0 to keep up with them. So we'll definitely check on that. But that's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. So a big thank you to all of you that tuned in for today. And, of course, a big thank you to Axeltoss for casting with me. Axeltoss, thanks again, man.
No problem. I appreciate it.
Do you have any last words before we actually end this?
Oh, sure. You know, congratulations to the players. Congratulations to Empire. And, like, I just want to say, it's a really weird situation. FXO, they're going to be in 4th. And if I'm a team, do I want to be in 1st to play FXO? I mean, I don't. But then again, every team in this league in the top 4 are looking incredible. But yeah, final words. I have a Twitter. You can follow me on Axeltoss if you want. I don't know if I'm allowed to shout out tournaments that I'm going to be participating in here. Sure. Hopefully, I can. Do you think I can? Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's a tournament coming up in Austin, Texas. It's the Lone Star Showdown or Lone Star Clash. A lot of great players involved, and I'm going to be there to help cast and stuff. So I'd appreciate it if y'all tuned in, or maybe even made the trip down to Austin. It's going to be a lot of fun. And that's all I got to say. Thanks, Gretorp.
Axeltoss, thank you. As always, it's a pleasure casting with you. But, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it. So we want to thank our sponsors before we actually close this out. Of course, FXO Monitors, the monitor supplier here at the NASL. Also, iBuyPower computers. You can see those beautiful computers on the sides over there that are powering the NASL studio. We want to thank Kingston HyperX, Cooler Master, and last but not least, Beyond Gaming. Do check out our giveaways. We're doing a Twitter giveaway, or rather a Facebook giveaway. You can check out twitter.com/AzoUSA, facebook.com/AzoUSA. Go ahead and follow them, like them, and you are entered in a chance to win that beautiful monitor signed by your favorite people at the NASL Season 2 Finals. You can also get the autographed monitors on sale at a discount. And to do that, you can go ahead and call the Azo order department at 800-800-5202, extension 200. And obviously, it's a limited time that you can get these discounted beautiful monitors on sale. Also, check out Beyond Gaming's new desktop app. You can see that at beyondgaming.com/page/BG link. Allow yourself to connect to your friends a lot easier, share a lot of results and scores. Go over there, and Beyond Gaming, always a great resource to help out gamers and players. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for today. Thank you so much again for tuning in. We're going to be here tomorrow, same time, so look forward to that. But that's going to do it. I'm Andre Gretorp and Axeltoss signing out for today. Thank you, and see you next time.
Well,
apparently.
actually, your teammate in control once called me the god of cheese.
Really?
The god of cheese. So I believe I'm way ahead of you again, Jake.
It's okay. All right. I'll be the bigger man today and not say anything since we're casting.